Ciao, everybody. My name is Anthony. Thank you so much for joining me back here on Inter Worldwide. A little bit too bright there for my liking. I like to sit in the dark. I'm not going to lie. I'm one of those people. Ciao to anybody that is here. I'm glad to see that 12 people are already here. We're going to get a good crowd today. I always do when I get a bit of backsplash over from the very funny, the very, very handsome Mr. Shadma. So here is Mattia. So is Emiliano. Nix Knox is here as well. Make sure you do the right thing. Like the video, subscribe if you are new as well. And of course, let me know where you are from. If you are new, we are here to talk not for a long time, but for a very, very important couple of reasons. The first one is for Empoli. And Empoli is obviously always going to be a tricky fixture because they do play decent football. This season is no exception to that. They play a very fluid brand of, yes, counter-attacking football, but it's just one of those counter-attacking footballs where you just got to be on your toes more often than not, because they also enjoy taking the ball to their opponent nice and quickly if you turn it over in the middle of the ground or in the mid-third. It's not just always when you're trying to press them with the ball and on goal. They're genuinely quite good on the defensive press as well, anywhere on the park. So that's what we're going to have to watch out for tomorrow. In terms of the match day that's just passed, or that's going on right now, I'll just make sure I've got the results up to date, because surely every match is done now, right? Except for Milan as well, because of the Supercoppa. I've had a very, very busy morning, and I was in and out of Juve versus Atalanta. This is also the first time I think we've done a video since the 15 points was handed down. But that's okay. That's not really the focus on today. We'll talk more about that later. Okay, so Bologna-Cremonese is still on this match day, and Lazio and Milan is on Wednesday for me, Tuesday for everybody else. So we've got the Serie A going quite deep into this week, quite deep, with Lazio at home in Rome to Milan. Some other results from the match day so far. Roma away to Spezia, got 3 points. So for all the comfort that we get of Juve at least temporarily dropping out of the top four unless they make some sort of appeal, just know that the likes of Atalanta, Lazio, Roma, they are right there. They are right there. And yes, there's a lot of games still to play, but pretty soon, in about 7 or 8 match days, you'll be looking at the ladder going, there are not many games left to play. So we need to put points together in the games that count, just in case we do something awesome, like go to the quarterfinals in the Champions League and have 2 more European games. Like qualify out of the quarterfinals against Atalanta and have to go and play another 2-legged tie in the Coppa Italia. This season, there's a lot of football still to play. And like when I look at this calendar, and I see Empoli and Cremonese up next back-to-back, Mava, you get your 6 points. You get your 6 points and you dip. You get your 6 points. You get your 6 points. Yeah? Let's get the 6 points. 13 people here right now, so make sure you like the video and subscribe if you are new. Monza 1, Sassuolo 1. I didn't even see that result yet until today. What happened in that game? Monza in the mud. Sassuolo in the mud. A goal for Ferrari and one Luca Caprari doing what he can do well. 1-1, eh? 1-1, eh? Sassuolo in the mud. In the mud. I see Dybala was an assist king. Udinese beat Sampdoria 1-0 away. Goal in the 88th minute by Kingsley Ezibue. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Torino scalped Fiorentina. I watched some of that game, actually. Verona had the goods over Lecce, and Napoli beat Salernitana. Napoli, who had now seen their lead go from whatever it was to Juve to now whatever it is. It's Napoli, it's theirs to lose now. It's theirs to lose now. That's for sure. Let's go to some of the comments so I don't lose track of where we're at, and then we'll jump straight to the slideshow and talk about what we're here to talk about today. Hello, Massimo. I hope things are all well with you. All the best. Yo, what's going on? Good midnight to you, Victor. Is Brozovic back? So from what I've heard, no, not just yet. I think we could probably see Brozovic back just after Cremonese. You might even see him back in the derby against Milan at the start of February. Mattia, so are the rumors true of you switching to Man United? No, untrue. All propaganda. Sup, Anthony, do I expect a clean sheet? Just give me 3 points, man. I don't care if it's a 4-3. Just give me 3 points here. Ciao, Vitali. How are you going, my friend? So we'll start off this by continuing our little kick-on celebration. Last fixture, we beat Milan by 3-0 to lift the Supercoppa, the first domestic trophy of the season. Belongs to us. It belongs to Inter. And I am still waking up easy thinking of that game. I'm waking up well knowing that that game ended the way that we wanted it to end. I'm waking up happy knowing that while some clubs are struggling to just save the integrity and pride of their name, we are still adding trophies to the cabinet, despite those said fans of first pre-mentioned side throwing slander at us the last 2.5 years, saying that our finances were in the pits, that our situation was horrendous, blah, 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 blah. We did win the game very, very comfortably, and I hope that that sets an example. But wouldn't it just be the most Inter thing in the world to play the way that we did against Milan and go up against Empoli and put in a... Guys, just let me know if you can hear me because it says I lost connection to my mic. I think I just got it back. But if you cannot hear me, just let me know. If you cannot hear me, just let me know because I am sort of testing it out. But if you can still hear me, also let me know so that I'm not wasting any time here. So wouldn't it be the most Inter thing in the world to back this up as a bad game? I really, really hope that these boys open up early, come out for a really, really good. Thank you very much, everybody. I just hope they come out guns blazing, man. I hope they come out guns blazing. Show that we're still here. Show that if Juve is going to behave the way they are and they're not going to be fighting us for a position lock and lock at the end of the season, don't give them a reason to come back into it. Just win your games from here on in. Just win your games. If we finish second to a Napoli that comes first here and we make a deep run in the Champions League into the quarterfinals and the Coppa Italia final from here, I'm okay with this season, man. So right now, the metrics are a little bit more, they're a little bit more attainable considering Milan and Napoli were also knocked out of the Coppa. I'm telling you right now, this Inter side is being spoon-fed opportunities at the moment. Yeah, let's not do the Inter thing now and just completely screw it up because we're in a position now where if we were to end this season poorly now, we'd have nobody but to blame but ourselves because you're not going to get these sort of gifts ever again. That's for sure. But grande to the boys for winning that. Thank you for confirming that, and Eduardo and Jono. Good to see you, bro. Zio is in the house. Thanks for your stream, bro. It was very enjoyable. I always enjoy your little changes of accent throughout them. They always make me laugh out loud, actually. Anthony at Man United is, bro, he's awful. He's awful. All he does is he's got that mean whip of a left hook shot. That's all he's got. Would it be fair to say that the lost points on Monday means that Skriniar mess affected the team? Yeah, man. Like, we're at home to Empoli. If you can't beat these guys at home after winning the Supercoppa 3-0, I am just, I'll be perplexed. I can see us struggling like against Verona. Yeah, were we at home against Verona? We were not at home against Verona, were we? We went to Verona. But this has to be even easier than that game because we're at home. We just need to go and smack them up. But I don't think that we will. Of course, I don't think that we will. And I'll put my money where my mouth is if I don't think that we will. I hope that we don't see certain men starting these games, but we'll see. Like, we saw who warmed up on the sidelines and we saw who was on the bench for the Supercoppa. But, we're not going into this game ready to risk certain players that aren't at 100%, because the injury in the team news is that, Lukaku pretty much recently returned to full team training. We know that, Lukaku will feature in the bench on this game, but Brozovic is still short of fitness. And you're definitely going to see Dzeko and Lautaro partner each other up front. That's for damn sure in this game. Martinez has 9 goals in Serie A this season. So he'll be looking to get his double digits. I'm pretty sure. We'll see what happens. But it is disappointing, John. I'm not going to lie. Bruv. I'm not going to lie. It is a shame because we've been playing without him all season. We've almost lost him for a calendar season, bro. We need to lose to guilt Skriniar into signing. I don't think it works like that, bro. We need to win in order to guilt him into signing and then show him the PSG game from the weekends, because I watch a lot of replays from Ligue 1 in Paris, and although they have sporadic moments of brilliance, overall, over the course of 90-95 minutes, PSG don't play fantastic football, bro. They really don't. It's a horrible season with us this year. It's sad to see. Maybe we should be entertaining the swap between Kessie and Fabroso. If you lose Skriniar, Jono, man, there's nothing else this club could do that could hurt me besides take Barella and Bastoni. So after Skriniar, as long as the Italian boys stay, you can't go any worse than losing a guy like Skriniar, bro, in my opinion. Anyway, we've been going for 13 minutes now, and we haven't touched on the lineups or the predicted team news for Empoli besides our injuries. We've played Empoli 28 times in recorded Serie A history. We've won 22 of those with 3 draws and 3 wins for the latter and our opponents. It'll be played on Tuesday for us, Monday for everybody else, and it'll be the second last game of the match day, as I said, with Milan facing Napoli as well. For our side, I think Lautaro Martinez, as I said, very, very important for him. I think if he gets his 10th goal of the season in Serie A, he'll be very happy. He's very hungry. Sorry for chatting, but I just felt it was appropriate since his World Cup lack of goals. I got a feel for him now, man. I remember sitting on the couch watching that Saudi Arabia game and watching him chip and score. I swear to God, as Zanetti said, if that goal is allowed, Toto has a different tournament, in my opinion. Eurochan says, guys, who are the other 8 teams that Italian Football Federation are investigating? I don't think it's us, but even if they were, the most they could find is a few millions dodged up on the Pinamonti or Van Housen deals. I don't think our punishment would be that bad. It's like getting caught selling heroin. Like, see how the Juve players, the Juve fans online, especially on Twitter, are saying that, we did it, we're guilty, but everybody else is. It's what they're doing compared to everybody else. It's like getting caught selling heroin and then telling the cops that there's a guy smoking a joint. It just doesn't add up. So don't listen too much. The other 8 teams that get investigated, worst case scenarios, they all get a fine. Even this Osimhen for Napoli, trust me, there's not much in it. There's not much in it, in my opinion. Roma, Napoli, Milan, Genoa, don't know the rest. Yeah, any clubs that have had any sort of involvement in Plus Valenza and capital gains will probably get investigated, and it might be us as well. But I don't think there's any punishments on the horizon, man. I really, really don't. I could be wrong, but hey, whatever. Onana at the back, Skriniar, De Vrij, and Bastoni expected to start from Sky Italia, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say Acerbi starts this game just because of his form. And even if he doesn't, you'll probably see him subbed on later. So Acerbi guaranteed to feature as well as Stefan De Vrij. Stefan De Vrij has also been rumored to sign a new contract after we reached out to his agent, Pastarello, however you say his name, that snake, who is also Romelu Lukaku's agent. I don't know if Lukaku dropped him as his agent, though. I think he might have, actually. He may have dropped him as his agent. Yes. Anyway, regardless of De Vrij and Acerbi, whoever starts, we still should win the game. I'd feel more comfortable with Acerbi. Hakan plays Brozo's role. Nico, best player on the planet since Maradona and Messi. Barella starts as a box-to-box. Henrik Mkhitaryan will hopefully continue his, overall really good, respectable form. That chip over the top against Monza's hurting Mkhitaryan, bro. He was had a flawless come back to form from the World Cup if it wasn't for that. Damn you, Henrik Mkhitaryan. But that's all right. He's doing well. I also would prefer Darmian as we get to that position right now. Euro chance. I would prefer him over Dumfries for sure. For sure. Matteo Darmian is a don. If he played a few more games for Italy qualifying for the World Cup, Italy would be at the World Cup. Matteo Darmian is a fantastic baller. Love him. Start him there alongside Di Marco at left wing back in the 3-5-2 setup. Martinez and Dzeko will start up top as they should. Forza Edin Dzeko is getting a goal. Edin Dzeko's getting a goal for sure. We'll look at the Empoli team and then we'll go into some predictions. Victor says Jose is on his way to finish top 4 and win the Coppa Italia. Yeah, he's mad. He's running a madness up there. 18 people here now. Make sure you like the video. Let me know if you are new as well. I'm feeling pessimistically cautious going into this game, man. I know I won't sleep through it tomorrow, so it's going to be an early wake up, and I got so much to do tomorrow as well. So we got to get the job done. You can't ruin our day at 6:45 in the morning, Inter. You can't do it. Let's go through our lineup and see who I think is going to have a good game, and you can comment on it as well. Only because I got some time. I want to go for at least another 15 minutes, and otherwise I'll just go too quickly. We've been here for about 17, and there's 18 of you here right now, which is great. I think Onana will have a good game because he won't have much to do. I'm very interested to see how Skriniar will turn up. Will he wear the armband? Will he continue to wear it? He most likely will. And yes, it goes on time as to how long people have been there. And Milan Skriniar behind Brozovic is the next in line for the armband. So it all goes based on that. I see you in the chat, Giovanni. Thanks for sticking around. I hope Correa doesn't start. That would be a disaster if he did. Bastoni had a great game in the Super Cup. Bastoni had an absolute baller game in the Super Cup. It would be a shame to see him return and play poorly. I think he'll play very well. I expect Hakan, Barella, and Mkhitaryan as the midfield to have a solid game, locking down the midfield of Empoli, which we'll get to in just a sec. Federico Di Marco, Dzeko are going to have a great game. I just see them both performing well. Even if Dzeko starts off frustrating, I feel like he's going to get on the score sheet again. When I go into the predictions, I'll go into more. Pazza Inter style, scrapping a 1-0. Mattia says, at home. Mattia 1-0 at home. It probably will go down like that. It'll probably go down exactly like that. The opponent line up in a formidable 4-3-2-1 pyramid, and it looks sexy, man. It looks even sexier front on than it does from the back, like if you're playing and doing it in FIFA. Vicario is there. Luperto is, Sebastiano Luperto at center back. You might find that I know a little bit more about Empoli than some of the other smaller sides that I do match previews for because I like to watch them. I've watched them so many times this season and last season as well. He plays a crucial role in the presence of defense for Empoli. This Luperto numero 33. He's a good player, man. Gives them a lot of confidence. And against a team like Inter that creates a lot of threats, if he is at his best, he can be the source of the counterattack and the ability to push forward and just be able to carry them forward as well. The next player I was going to talk about, it's like I've got, ESPN, whatever it is with my boy Matt Pickham in Austral, is Parisi, who's an absolute machine on the left-hand side. Another reason why it's probably better to start Darmian over Dumfries. If Dumfries is a little bit injured and he returns and he's not focused, Parisi will have his number 150%. He's a good player. He knows how to dart around defenders quickly, and he's just got a good ball retention as well. Don't be sleeping on the likes of Fazzini and Bandinelli, who have got good chemistry in the middle of the park and don't necessarily stick to their set roles in this very flexible 4-3-2-1 that they like to play. They're very, very flexible in this 4-3-2-1, how they move the ball around as well and how they move off it. If I'm not mistaken, they've only lost one in their last 5. I've got the stats on the next slide. I'll go view them up in a second. But so far we haven't even got to Baldanzi, who's their leading scorer this season. You know, their leading scorer so far this season. He's only got 3 goals, which means they've been really, 4 goals. So they've really been sharing it around. They've been sharing it around Empoli. But yeah, you know, they'll come up from Florence feeling really, really confident that they can at least get a point out of us and continue what's been a good season for them so far. It's been a good season for them so far. The only things that might change in our lineup, I think, was the Darmian. I can't see anything else changing, even the Correa for Dzeko or Correa for Lautaro. But in terms of the Empoli lineup, you might see Ebui. Maybe Ebui might be in there for Stojanovic. Have I forgotten anyone in their side? Well, look, I actually don't think Satriano's going to start up front. I think it might be Destro. Well, that's who I put in the thumbnail, isn't it? Yeah, I think it might be Destro. Destro could still start for them. Caputo's definitely starting, and so is Baldanzi. So the only other two, because I know Satriano is played something like 14 out of 16 games or 14 out of 18 games for Empoli this season, but he's only got 1 goal and 1 assist. So they've been giving him the minutes. They've given him the number 9, and they've given him the minutes. So Satriano, who's like 24 years old, it's not like he's 18, 19. If he can't score a couple more goals for Empoli, he's a good way to raise some money and sell him. You can't be bringing this guy in at his age thinking he's going to do anything for Inter. It would be an absolute disaster trying to bring him back. And how many more seasons on loan are we going to give him? He needs to pick up his form this season. He needs to score goals, or he needs to provide assists at the very least. If Satriano is starting against us instead of Destro, I'll be very happy. I think he's allowed to start against us. They can't play against us if it's a cup game and they've already featured. So Satriano, if he's starting against Destro, by all means, Empoli, play your cards and do it. However, these are always usually the famous last words that result in them scoring a goal or a dobletta and basically run amok as they did. Have Empoli done this before? Has Pinamonti scored against us while playing for Empoli? Probably. Good thing we took Aslani from them. Yep, he scored last season against us. Aslani tipped to start for us. Anyway, I think I've given us more information on Empoli. Just watch out for Luperto. He's good. Watch out for Ciccio Caputo. Even into his years, he can be dangerous if you give him any space. So don't sleep on them. Clear the headers. Don't let them take you on one-on-one. Watch your shoulders. All that sort of stuff. We should be able to keep Empoli out for the most part. Sorry for the blurriness. It was clearer when I made the slide. There's 20 people here now, which is nice. Like the video, subscribe. If you are new, it would be really, 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 really nice. They've played 18 games altogether, won 5, drawn 7, lost 6. Their away form is not great. They've only collected 1 win, drawn 5, lost 3. They've scored 8 goals away from home, 16 altogether. 14 of them are away, conceded against. 22 conceded altogether, minus 6 goal difference overall and away. They've attained an average of 0.89 points per game away from home. Their last 5 games away from home are 3 draws and 2 losses. Their next game is against us. Mario Delgado says, hello, Anthony. What is the only weakness I find in DeMarco compared to Gosens or Perisic? For me, it's his height, because I think the guy's fine in all other aspects. Besides his height, I would say his ability to body a man one-on-one. Gosens and Perisic can still sort of shoulder to shoulder a little bit better than DeMarco. But once again, that completely comes down to his height, because he does put full-blown muscular strength into those challenges, man. I see him go. So you're right there, bro. It all really comes down to his height. He's a better crosser of the ball than Gosens. He's a better crosser of the ball than Perisic. Perisic is a better dribbler of the ball than DeMarco. I have no doubt about that. Perisic is better at taking a man one-on-one. Gosens is quicker. Gosens, once he gets behind a man off the ball, is also better to run behind the run of play. Also, I would say if you've got the ball with the defender off your shoulder behind you, running towards the goal or running towards the corner box, picture the box is here, and Gosens got it here, and he's running towards it in that direction. I think once they beat the man on the shoulder, Gosens is probably your best of the 3 in doing that. However, Gosens' decline in physicality and athleticism, or also his inability to play games back to back, has inhibited not only his physical opportunities, but his tactical opportunities to do that and get behind the players and the lines consistently because of the minutes that he's played. We all know what Perisic's strengths are. We've seen them, but I've never seen a player in that position be as ready, so young, with this level of passion, this level of desire, this level of overall ability, Di Marco is ahead of them both. So I'm super confident in this guy. Talk to me again in 2 years and we'll be looking at the ranking going, Di Marco is better for us than Perisic and was better than Robin Gosens was ever even intended to be. So well said. Thanks for the talking point, man. Our home form should get us through 24 out of 27 points so far. Thanks, Matt. Let's finish January with all the points available, 100% Franco. Next slide, please. Current ladder at the moment next to Empoli's form as we start to wrap up our match preview for Empoli. 12th on the ladder with a game in hand on the likes of, we'll see, with 22 competition points. They're quite comfortable in a sense that they've got a game in hand on Lecce, Spezia, Salernitana, Sassuolo, Hellas Verona, and Sampdoria. Imagine, this is why they're probably coming into this game not feeling too gutsy. Maybe, I don't know. See, if I'm Inter and I'm Inzaghi, I'm looking at them going, oi, Empoli are really, really safe at the moment. There's no reason for Empoli to come into this game and think this is a must win. The only reason Empoli are going to come into this game and go hell for leather is because they want to walk out of there going, we got something from Inter. We got something from a top 4 side. We got something from a top side. I used to go for Inter as a kid. I hate Inter because I go for Juve, blah, blah, blah. I play for Empoli and I wish I played for Inter. I want to beat them. I wish I played, you know what I mean? All about beating a big side from a small side. That's the only reason they're here to play. They are a mid-table side. They're not going to get relegated. They won't drop 10 points more, in my opinion, than Verona, Sampdoria, Cremonese from this point. They will outscore the likes of Spezia, Salernitana, Sassuolo without busting too much of a sweat. That being said, they won't get the competition points to challenge for a European spot. They're already mathematically nowhere near it. This team can be pumped. The only thing, oh my God, Matt did it. The Empoli can overtake Juventus if they beat us. Change of plan, boys. Let's chuck this game. Throw it. Forza Napoli, bro. All the way straight to Campione. Nah, just kidding, man. But Napoli now with 50 competition points. 50 competition points after 19 match days. I don't remember too many other teams that can do that. They'll hit 90. This is a 92, 93 point season for Napoli. But where we are at the moment is, as I said, you can't spoon feed a baby mushy food any sweeter and smoother than you do this. Inter want to win trophies. We have won the Coppa Italia 3-0 stupidly easy. We want to continue to win trophies. Coppa Italia, let's flick Napoli and Milan straight out of it. You're concerned about your presence in the top 4. Juventus have been docked 15 points in the first out of 3 or 4 trials where they're actually meant to not get that heavy of a sentence in. They weren't meant to lose 15. They were meant to lose 9, and that was meant to sound harsh. This Inter side is like, we got to win these games, man. We got to win against Empoli and beat Cremonese. I love beating Napoli. I love winning Supercoppa 3-0. I love it. But the pain that you feel from not getting 3 points against mid to bottom level sides is uncomparable. It is a worse feeling than winning games. It really is. Let's do the business against a side who just is happy to be going to the Miazza on a Monday night. What a privilege it is for these athletes. I wouldn't swap for them. No, not at all. Let's not forget Verona was before Supercoppa at home too. It was at home. Sorry, Mattia. Sorry, everybody. We must overtake Milan after the next derby and be the only ones left chasing after Napoli. Yes, especially if Milan drop points here. If we get 3, and let's just have wishful thinking and say Milan go to Rome, play well, and get a point. They'll be on 39, we'll be on 40. You beat Cremonese, you go into the match against Milan going, holy crap, we beat you. We can be 3 points clear of you, 4 points clear of you. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Wouldn't it be great to be a team chasing Napoli, clear daylight of 3rd? Wishful thinking, wishful thinking. I think that's it for the slideshows. Yes, it is. That's it. Empoli's games are on the far right-hand side. They started the season with a really poor 1-0 defeat to Spezia. They then had 4 draws in a row, a point at home to Fiorentina and Verona, away to Salernitana and Lecce. They then hosted Roma, in which they lost the game by 2-1, scoring late in the game, Roma, as they like to do. They then scored a late goal against Bologna to win 1-0 away, conceded 3 goals against Milan to lose at home. Draw against Torino. They beat Monza 1-0. 2 back-to-back losses. Juve 4-0 at home. Atalanta 2-0 Juventus 4-0 away in Turin. They hosted Atalanta at home and lost that by 2-0. They beat Sassuolo by 1-0. Defeated 2-0 in Naples. Defeated Cremonese by 2-0. Shared spoils with Udinese, and looks like their best result of the season comes down to their late fight back against Lazio after going 2-0 down only a week and a bit ago. They just beat Sampdoria as well, only 4 days back, 3 days back, whatever it was. So they'll come into this game knowing that, we haven't lost in 4 games. Our last defeat was against Napoli, and we are in a great position to not get relegated. We are in a fantastic position to not be relegated down to Serie B. So let's make sure that we take that momentum. Let's make sure that we capitalize on that and get a point. I'm speaking from an Empoli point of view. We can nullify that by just making sure that we focus in attack, because Empoli are coming into this game maybe knowing that they don't need to win it. They'll be more than happy to sit back and absorb pressure. You might actually see them play a little bit more conservative than they usually do, although it's important to know that they do still set up as a counter-attacking side at the end of the day. They play with their 3-4-3, 2-1 as a pyramid, but they do sit deep and really love to push those fullbacks up just a tiny bit. But more importantly, quick touch play in midfield, a lot of running as well. They like to clock some kilometers. So expect them to make life difficult. Expect them to make it cagey in the first half. If we can get an early goal, it will completely open up the game. And I think that scoring an early goal against this Empoli side would be key to getting a bigger win. The last thing you want to do is go to halftime at 0-0, or as the game pushes on into minute 60 and 70 as well. But we'll see what happens. It could be Pazza Inter. We could be in for a really, really rough result. This game could really end 1-1. So throw your predictions in the chat right now as I finish up. We're going to finish up in literally 2 minutes. So predictions in the chat. While I do think we should win, while I've been gassing us up in this video, I'm in no position to think that the anti-jinx won't do us anything but favors. Full-time Inter 1, Empoli 1. Inter score the first goal in around about the 15th, 20th minute. Dzeko scores. Everybody is ready to praise him as, put a statue in the field. Yeah, so a statue in Milano for him. But we're probably going to concede a goal around about minute 70, 75. And it's either going to be Destro or Satriano, whoever's on the pitch at the time. You heard it here first. Clip it and upload it to Twitter as soon as it happens. Can we avoid Pazza Inter tomorrow? Please, God, it's the only thing in the world I'm wishing for. I think this is the last Inter game before I go back to work. I've been on Christmas holidays from school for a good 4.5 weeks. And I go back on Friday. Today is Monday. We play tomorrow and we play again on Sunday. Guys, after this, we have a 6-day rest in between now and Cremonese. That is a fantastic amount of time off. That is such a long, long amount of time for this group of boys to rest. You beat Empoli tomorrow and it really does wonders for the rest of the season. 2-0 win for Massimo. 3-1 win for Matt. Lautaro form continues. Dzeko scores. Late goal from a substitute as well. I hope so. I really, really hope so, because these, as I just said, 3 points from Empoli really opens up the rest of the campaign. It really opens up the rest of the season. You beat Cremonese, and all of a sudden, you're just looking at an end-of-the-month fixture against Atalanta in the Coppa and returning in February with a game against Milan. All of the fate is in your hands, and by then, Lukaku is back fit properly. By then, Brozovic is back fit properly. What they can give us, who knows? The Skriniar situation will most likely be sorted by then, in a sense that if he hasn't re-signed with us by the end of January, start helping him pack his bags. If he has signed for another club and he's left in January, at least this is our first month back without him. Let's get the ball rolling. We are Inter at the end of the day. I don't place any of the blame on Skriniar. He has every right to be as selfish as he wants. He has every right to leave. He has every right to give us the finger as he walks out. But the second he leaves, the split second that it's done, you forget about him altogether. No player is bigger than this club. We have seen much bigger names walk out of here than Milan Skriniar. We have sold much bigger, more important names than that guy. So if he does leave, thank you so much for what you've done. We are going to invest our emotional energy elsewhere. If for some reason he is still here after January, but he hasn't re-signed, then you start revisiting how you integrate him into the team properly. Do you take the armband away? Do you start thinking about dropping him, etc., etc.? I hope not. I hope not. I'm going to go through these scores and then I'm going to finish with what I would do in the Skriniar situation. I was going to put in a whole other video later today or yesterday with what I would do in the situation if he does X, Y, Z, or if he doesn't sign, but I'll just allude to it now. 3-0 Euro chance, 3-1 Franco, 3-0 John Fazino, I like it, and 1-0 for Mattia. If I were Inter, I would not sell Skriniar in January unless an offer of 20 million or more comes in, because you are really jeopardizing your top 4 hopes by letting Skriniar leave in January, because you can't replace him then. Your best bet then is to not try and force his hand too hard to re-sign in January, but to maybe give him that extra 6 weeks to 8 weeks into February, March, and play to the heart a little bit. You win the derby against Milan, maybe you get an extra 3, 4, 5 points on Napoli. You start to fight for Scudetto. Then you go up to Skriniar again with your pay rise. And yes, I say pay rise because you can't go up to him and offer him the same again. If he wants 6.5 base instead of us 6.5 total with bonuses, you offer him the 6.5 base, bump it from the 5.5 you've offered him already, get him to 6.5 base with bonuses to 7.5. And you say, we love you, we want you to stay. Here's the armband, here's 6.5 base, take it. If he still looks at you and goes, no, I'm filthy, I'm dirty at you, plus I'm going to take the 9 million at Paris and whatever signing bonus, then you go, all right, whatever. We did it. We did what we can. We offered you the same as, more than Brozovic. We offered you the same as Toro. We offered you the biggest wage from someone that's not on loan, because Lukaku's getting more. We offered you the biggest full paid player at the club. You've rejected 7.5 mil. We've never offered anybody more than that before, unless you were the likes of Lukaku and even Alexis Sanchez. But if you're going to reject that, that's fine. Once again, it could go either way now. I'm more confused as the days go on, whereas I was more inclined to believe he's 100% leaving about a week ago plus. I'm more and more confused as the days go on. Matt says people saying Brozo gets the armband. He can't even make his way into the starting lineup. Hard, bro. Hard, bro. Like, at the end of the day, I'm not worried about the armband. That's not what I'm worried about. I'm more worried about our setup in the back 3 and defensively than I am about the armband. Barella can be the captain of this side. DiMarco can be the captain of this side. Hell, man, Dzeko could be the captain of this side. You know? Like, it's not a be-all and end-all situation with the armband. It just so happens to be that our best defender, one of our best players, is also the best candidate for the armband for all of the great characteristics that he has. Management dropped the ball on this one big time. And when it does become official, we've got some videos ready to come out blaming the likes of Steven Zhang for the biggest F-up in his ownership history. We've got the content ready to come at you for Marotta and his biggest drop deal, Auxilio. Management and the directors have done a disgraceful job for this. It is their worst deal in the history of being in their position at their jobs, in my opinion. Especially at Inter. That's all. Yes, De Vrij will be our substitute for Skriniar. That's it. When we re-sign him on a new deal, they'll start saying that the 2-year deal is complete because we've re-signed De Vrij to substitute for Skriniar. There's still 23 people on this video right now, which is great. Let me know if you are new. Subscribe if you are new and like the video. That's it. That's all that there is to talk about right now. The ladder was updated this morning after the Juve Atalanta result. So that's an accurate table that you see there up on the screen. Yeah, if we can do a madness, if we can just get these 3 points here tomorrow and imagine AC Milan don't win, all of a sudden it's looking pretty damn okay for where we're sitting, mate. Yeah, happy with the names that were being linked to, though. Like, this Scalvini guy was awesome for Atalanta. So, you know, it's important to be calm because I have absolutely no doubt that he will be signed by Juve. Little defender is impressive. Yes, he is as well. I think I know which one you're talking about. So we just don't have the money to put the Skriniar lack of renewal anywhere. We really don't. We really don't. Like, if we were losing him for 60, 80 million, then you'd be really happy because you're like, all right, we need some of that money, but we'll probably reinvest a little bit of it. We got nothing to reinvest if we lose him on a free. Got nothing, man. Less bargaining power to everybody else that we go to as well. It's peak out here. The guilt is on ownership and management, but Skriniar is not behaving good at all with the club, considering the club, the names and the colors are more. Bro, Franco, I value you and your opinions. You're a really smart guy, and I always appreciate you. But is Skriniar asking for a 25 million signing bonus from us, or did he actually ask that for Paris? I thought that was just offered to him. I didn't know he was asking for it. But picture you perform as well as Skriniar did. You win the Scudetto. You've been there from the Spalletti era. Literally, besides Brozovic and Handanovic and Gagliardini and D'Ambrosio, you're like the last one standing. The last one from that time. And you're a bargaining chip for the last 3 mercatos, not the last one, the last 3. It started off 3 mercatos ago where they said Skriniar is not for sale, but if an offer comes of XYZ, we would be happy to entertain it. Then 2 mercatos ago, it was Skriniar is on the market for 60 to 80 million. Then last market, it was we will still sell Skriniar. And then everyone chucks a hissy fit, all the fans and whatnot. Skriniar is behind the scenes in the background this whole time going, what the hell did I do to deserve this? We don't know how well it was communicated to him. Did any of the management, board, ownership, did anyone have the set of balls to go up to him and go, brother, we're so sorry, but we have to do this? Did anyone do that? Or did he wake up to different rumors every day? And before you're so quick to answer, don't just think because these people are professional at an elite level that they've got the set of balls to wake up and in their job go up to him and be transparent and tell the truth. I don't think it works like that. I think athletes, agents, managements, I think they all play cat and mouse from each other. I think they have very little dialogue in real life, one-on-one, person to person. And when they do, they keep it extremely polite, extremely smiley, handshakey, because they never know what sort of cameras are around as well. It is very, very hush-hush. Skriniar strikes me right now as someone who is so pissed off and petty, he needs to at least get out of us, not just out, he needs to get out on his terms as a winner to save face for his ego. I'm a petty person as well. I'm a real petty person, so I can't blame him. Kind of respect him for it. Smalling is acceptable to me. He's been good at Roma. He is. If he legit walks for a better if he walks for a better salary, but why is he not clear about it back in August and September? Maybe he didn't appreciate knowing at the end of 3 different markets where he wasn't sure whether he'd wake up in the morning and be sold. As an asset, as someone that's owned by a club, I don't know what his personal life's like. I don't know. Is he married? Does he have kids? You know, maybe it's not good to wake up every day thinking, do I need to uproot my life and my lifestyle? Yes, I get paid a lot of money. Yes, this is a glamorous job. Yes, this is my dream. But I'd rather not have to wake up every day knowing that I need to make new friends, or I need to uproot my wife's lifestyle, or I need to enroll my kid in a new school, or I need to sell my house. All these human being factors come into place. And when I put myself in Skriniar's position, I think to myself, if this was being done on a level where you're not getting paid millions of dollars, you'd fight and you wouldn't work hard. Skriniar rocking up to every game with the armband still giving 110%, even if he's leaving, to me, it's amicable. It's admirable. Admirable. I respect him for it. I really do. I can't hate him at all. I can't. I blame management so heavily and ownership on this that I can't hate him at all. Just to be honest, the fans, we appreciate that much. That's all I ask. If the club screwed him, then that's not on us. No, it's not. It's not. And at the end of the day, man, if innocent people have to suffer for the dirty deeds of the guilty, that's the world that we live in. And he seems like a strong-minded bloke that if that's his decision as well, yes, you're shitting on me, you're shitting on us. But again, do I blame him? No. We are Inter fans. We support this. We support the club. Yes, we support Skriniar, but what Skriniar to turn around and not say, all right, are you guys going to follow me and support me at PSG? Are you guys going to follow me and support me when I leave? Are you guys going to follow what I do after I leave Inter? Are you going to support any other endeavors that I do in my life? What happens if I decide to invest in a farm? You're going to invest in my farm? What if I decide to release a line of Slovakian vodka? You're going to buy a case? No. So you don't support Milan Skriniar. You don't follow Milan Skriniar. You're not a fan of Milan Skriniar. You are a fan of Inter. You are a fan of what remains at the end of everything that doesn't matter. Milan Skriniar doesn't owe you anything. He doesn't owe me anything. He doesn't owe us anything. He's already given us everything that we need. Consistent performances, loyalty to the badge, public interviews saying he wants to be here forever. And what did we do? We decided to kick him in the balls. We mistook his kindness as weakness. If someone did this to you in real life, if you have any balls as a man, you would stand up and fight. So I don't blame him whatsoever. You want to neglect the fans' feelings through all this, Skriniar? That's your choice, my bro. That's your choice, and I respect it either way. I hope we don't boo him tomorrow. I really hope we don't boo him tomorrow. That would be the worst boo to a player that I've ever seen, to one of our players that I've ever seen. That would be the worst. The worst. I hope that doesn't happen. Anyway, I'm happy that for people to disagree with me. Of course, that's what we do here. We debate things healthily, and I'm happy to do a whole Milan Skriniar debate and conversation next time I go live or next time I do a video, which should be soon. It'll be obviously after Empoli tomorrow. We'll do something, but I'll also look to tee something up with some people soon as well. Try and get more people involved with the channel. If anybody is watching here and wants to get involved, just send me a message on WhatsApp or message me anywhere on the socials, and that would be much appreciated. Us losing Perisic and Skriniar on a free in this financial situation is a big L for our management. 100%. 100%. It's not good. It's not good. I've got Luripio Russo in the house. Thank you very much for commenting. First time I've seen you. Vinciamo contra Empoli se Milan non vince contra Lazio martedì scalvacciamo. So yeah, a victory against Empoli compacted with a non-victory for Milan over Lazio on Tuesday would be awesome. Yes, it would. Yes, it really, really would. My name is Anthony. Forza Inter Worldwide. If we are getting together tomorrow after Empoli, after 3 points, I will be ecstatic, because that will mean that we are one Serie A victory away from going into February very healthy. I'll almost start to forget about those 2 drop points if we can get the 6 from Empoli and Cremonese. That's very important. Super duper glad. I'm also glad I managed to do this whole 46 minutes without diving into the Juve court case. I know I mentioned it and we touched on it for like 20-second intervals here and there, but I didn't want to talk about that because there is so much still to happen with that. It could get a lot worse for Juve. It could get a lot better. I don't know. I get information from all different sources, from people personally who think that they know what they're talking about, from people who genuinely do know what they're talking about, and from people who've got no idea what they're talking about. Me personally, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I just like to bring it forward and discuss it with my community here. But Matt Pickham wants to talk about it. We're not talking about it, bro. We're not talking about it. When things become more official and when things start to actually happen, because there's another court case for them scheduled on February 22nd. So there's no point talking about it just yet because there's a lot to come out and a lot to happen before then. But in terms, what I will speak about is something objective. Their 1-1 draw with Atalanta, their 3-3 draw with Atalanta was a great result for us because, Juve getting 3 points against Atalanta for ladder purposes might be better for us in our top 4 run, but who's to say they can't reverse that decision later on and get all their points back? On the flip side, 3 points for Atalanta, despite how great it would be to watch Juve get buried at home and lose another game in this situation, that really brings Atalanta up our culo once again. So the draw today, very, very good result, provided we can gain the 2 points on this match day against Empoli, because the match against Cremonese should be even easier. You go to Cremonese, you beat that. Who knows what opponents are dropping points in the next match day? Relegate them to Serie B forever and problem solved. The only thing I want to know, can it get worse than their appeal is 16 the max? All I know for sure with the points, it can either be reversed to 0 or stay at 15. There's no 14, no 9, no 4, no 3, no 1. It either gets fully reversed or the 15 stay. Now, the thing is that if they reverse those 15 points, well, then they can't investigate anybody else like they've already started to do. If they reverse those 15 points, well, then Juve get to go into their next trial saying that this person was already wrong. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The only thing I will say, and I'm already going to regret saying this, but I'm going to have a moment of humility here. I really do feel for some of their fans. I really do feel for some of the honest humans, the very few that I know. I've got a few in Australia, people who put their face on a camera, like Beppe, like Alberto, those sort of people. I do feel for them, man. From a fan's point of view, they do not deserve this at all. At all. But at the same time, bro, we'll talk about it a bit more when it happens. Agree, Scuderia has been a boost for us. Management stuffing up. Scuderia doesn't deserve any boost. Facts. Thanks to the 20 people that are still here right now. That's all we've got time for today. I hope everybody has a good day. It is 11:20 a.m. on a Monday here in Sydney, Australia. I hope you all enjoy your Sunday evening sleep or early Monday morning sleep, whatever time it is. We will get together tomorrow at about 8:45 a.m., 9 a.m. my time to review this Empoli game. Forza Inter worldwide. Ciao ragazzi.